Today I'm going to go over lesson 11 of Pocket Japanese. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to say how much is it. I'm also going to very quickly go over the words needed for this lesson. If you don't want to do that, you can skip that and just start at the main part of the lesson. Let's go. So firstly, we have umbrella,
傘、
kasa, umbrella. Secondly, shoes,
靴、
kutsu. Thirdly, car,
車、
kuruma. Fourth, bicycle,
自転車、
jitensha. Fifth, hat,
帽子、
boshi, mobile,
携帯、
ketai. Just as a note, you also might hear this as ketai denwa. I guess it's the difference between mobile and mobile phone, like in English. Phone is denwa, mobile is ketai. Ketai denwa is also an option. Seventh,
テレビ、
terebi, TV. Eighth,
カメラ、
camera, camera. 9, en. We think it should be yen because we call it the Japanese yen, but they call it en. So say something is 100 yen, they would say 100 en.
子犬、
10th, puppy, koinu. Or was that 9th? I think it was 9th. Who knows? Just as a note, dog is inu. Ko is like child. So when we say ko inu, koinu, we are saying child dog, puppy.
子猫、
Koneko, same with cat. Koneko, cat, neko, ko, child, child, cat, kitten. That sounded like a lot of words.
子猫、
12 is keiki. 13 is computer. And 14th is soda. So just as a note, the word list, I do about 14 words per lesson. It's quite a manageable chunk depending how fast you go through these lessons. And if like 14 is too many or not enough, I recommend either going through the lessons slower or faster. In Japanese, they rarely distinguish plurals unless it's needed for context. So for example, この靴は ikura desu ka? How much are these shoes? You're unlikely to be asking how much is one shoe. You obviously want to buy both. They are a pair of shoes, so no need to specify two. If you're asking how much are 4 pens, you need to define the amount in Japanese too, which we'll be learning soon. But when it comes to this, you don't need to change kono to make it a plural, unlike in English where you'd have to say these. So kono is plural or just one thing. It's whatever the context requires. Let's go over some example sentences. You won't know the grammar for this yet, but you should do by the end of the lesson if you finish this lesson and have completed all of my previous lessons. So, kasa wa ikura desu ka? How much is that umbrella, or the umbrella in fact? それは私の靴です. Those are my shoes. あの車はいくらですか? How much is that car over there? この自転車は先生のです. This bicycle is the teacher's. 帽子は1000円です. That, or the hat, I keep saying that. The hat is 1000 yen. それは彼女の携帯ですか? Is that her phone? テレビはいくらですか? How much is the TV? これは800円です. This is 800 yen. その犬の名前は白です. I feel like that's meant to be koinu because that was the word for this one, but oh well. Same with this one, but okay. あの猫の名前は青です. I feel like, again, this one should probably be koneko, that kitten's name is, but it says that cat. So, yeah. Kanji study, I recommend doing on your own. There is a game. There is kanji. And there are worksheets. Okay, let's go over how to say how much is it in Japanese. Asking how much something is uses this set phrase, ikura desu ka? How much is it? You can't use this to ask how much food would you like or something like that. You can't ask for quantity. It's just asking for pricing. To ask how much a specific item is, we can use this sentence structure. X wa ikura desu ka? As for X, how much is it? So, for example, okay, so here we have 3 examples. We have kaban wa ikura desu ka? How much is the bag? So this is just a very simple bag, as for bag, how much is it? In the second, or even noun, how much is the noun? In the second and third example, we're going to use kore and kono, which we did a few lessons ago. One means this thing, the other means this noun. So example 2, kore wa ikura desu ka? How much is this? How much is this thing? This is something you can use quite a lot. If you just have something in your hand and you want to be to the speaker, you want to say to someone, maybe a shop assistant, how much is this? How much is this thing? You can just say, kore wa ikura desu ka? How much is this? If you wanted to say, how much is this bag? So almost combining the first two, you can't say kore kaban because kore can only be used for this thing, and you can't say this thing bag, how much is it? You have to use kono, which can be used with a noun. So, kono kaban wa ikura desu ka? This bag, and then we have the wa. As for this bag, how much is it? Kono kaban wa ikura desu ka? Remember, you also can't say kono wa because kono needs to be followed by a noun, and wa is not a noun, it's a particle. So you can say kore wa ikura desu ka for how much is this? You can say kono kaban wa ikura desu ka for how much is this bag? And you can also just say kaban wa ikura desu ka for how much is the bag. Hopefully that all made sense. If it didn't, you can check out my lesson on kono and kore. Ikura desu ka is kind of a set phrase, therefore we know that ikura desu ka part will come at the end of the sentence because ikura will always be with the des. It will always come with the des attached. So you don't say something like ikura kaban wa desu ka or something like that. It's always going to come at the end of the sentence. So hopefully that helps you phrase your sentence. You're going to have noun wa as for the noun, ikura desu ka? So, for example, if I wanted to say, how much is the bicycle? You could say, jitensha wa ikura desu ka? If I wanted to say, how much is the hat? You could say, boshi wa ikura desu ka? If I wanted to say, how much is that car? You could say, sono, because it's that, and you're going to have a noun after it, and you can't use sore if there is a noun after it. Sono kuruma wa ikura desu ka? And let's quickly look at how to respond, it is blah 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 yen. Answering how much something is uses this set phrase. So no, I used to hate learning set phrases, but learning X is 100 yen soon turns into, excuse me, is X 3,000 yen, which eventually becomes, I can't believe the new car I bought was only 100,000 yen or something. So when you're learning a language, this is something you might already know this, but when I started, I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that you need to start with these basic set phrases, and as you get better, you can change them into more complicated, natural sounding phrases. So we do sometimes learn set phrases. So our first answer is going to include the subject from the question. So for example, say someone says to you, kono kaban wa ikura desu ka? So how much is this bag? You can then repeat the first part, the topic, the subject, and you can say sono kaban wa, that bag, because remember, if someone is holding the bag, they are saying this. You're not holding. I doubt you are also holding that bag. So to you, it's probably going to be that. So sono kaban, that bag, wa 1000 en desu. So 1,000 yen. 1,000 is sen. We say en when we're talking in Japanese, not yen. So sono kaban wa 1000 en desu. And desu is in this sentence. You don't actually have to repeat the subject though. You can drop it. We both know what we're talking about. Someone has just asked you, like, how much is that bag? We know that we're talking about a bag right now. You can actually just reply 1000 en desu. It's kind of like in English where someone says, how much is this? And you go, oh, £3,000. I know that doesn't happen often. But yeah, you don't have to repeat the subject. However, both answers are fine. As the subject is clear, some people will choose not to include it in a response. But as a beginner, I recommend that you do just to get used to speaking longer sentences. Like at this point, we don't really want to be chopping off bits of our sentence, especially when it could lead to practicing kono and sono. So just my little opinion on this one. Eventually, you're probably more likely to just say it is 1,000 yen, but I really recommend for now, if it means practicing a few extra words, that you say the full sentences. Okay, on my website, I have a little test your knowledge. You'll have 7 minutes to answer all the questions. I actually made this such a long time ago that I can't remember what's on here, but I think, yeah, it starts very simple and then it gets a bit more complicated as you go along. So I recommend having a go at that if you have the time and if you want to. Okay, let's go over one or two more sentences. This is going to be more of a listening practice, so have a go at listening, and before I reveal the answer, I'll give about 3 seconds or so. Try and think of what I'm saying, like try and translate it in your head before I reveal it. So let's go. その帽子はいくらですか? So, how much is that hat? あの自転車はいくらですか? あの自転車は8,000円です。How much is that bicycle over there? Oh, that bicycle over there is 8,000 yen. Very cheap. 傘はいくらですか? 傘は1,000円です。How much is this umbrella? Oh, the umbrella is 1,000 yen. And lastly, 子猫はいくらですか? 5,000円です。How much is the kitten? 5,000 yen. I think that's also very cheap for a kitten, but you know, we count what we can count. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll have a few more lessons up soon, and if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I try and upload videos as often as I can, and will eventually hopefully be covering all of N5. All my lessons on YouTube are for free. If you'd like to support me further, I have my website pocketjapanese.com, where you can find all of my lesson notes. There is a small fee after lesson 5 just to help keep the website running, and thank you very much. And hopefully I'll see you next time.